Is lo-fi actually dying? Short answer, yes, but not necessarily in the way that you might think. Lo-fi as we know it right now is being kept on life support by things like playlists and 24/7 streams. It's slowly starting to fade away, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'll tell you why. Part of the problem with lo-fi right now is oversaturation. If you were to type in lo-fi beats on Spotify or YouTube, you're going to be met with playlist upon playlist upon playlist and 24/7 streams in mass featuring nothing but chill beats and lo-fi beats and things of the like. If your sole intent when you're listening to these playlists is to just clean your house or take a nap or study or whatever you choose to do with your time, that's completely fine. However, as an artist, it's becoming increasingly difficult to get our music in front of the right eyes and the right ears and actually create and showcase the art that we actually care for. When you start to factor in things like AI and the ability to produce these lo-fi beats in mass because of their simplicity, you're going to really struggle to get a foot ahead. Also taking into account things like Splice, a website that is primarily designed for producers to track down loops, samples, and create from that. They have category specifically designed for lo-fi. There's drums, there's ambient effects, there's melodies, like it all comes pre-packaged. And what we're starting to see on a lot of these playlists is artists are just taking one loop and taking a drum loop and meshing it together and putting it out and not actually doing anything. And so when you're trying to create quantity instead of quality, it leads to a ton of oversaturation within the genre. And so because of that, we've been able to kind of dive. There's a handful of really dope artists that I've been introduced to because I chose to swerve and I chose to shift away from what was comfortable and what was normal, and I started taking risks and I started diving deeper into lo-fi, and I've discovered artists like No Kids Got Cats, there's O'Ricky and Impression that are creating dope things. You have Cowboy Dracula, another O'Ricky tape. You have CDs and cassettes and the ability to do really dope things with your art when you're actually breaking free from the mold and you're a part of the shift. So what we're starting to see now, because of that oversaturation, if you dig beyond the simplicity of the chord progressions and the softness of the drums, you're gonna find that gritty lo-fi. You're gonna find artists like O'Ricky, Impression, DiBiase, Low-Key, B4 Lasers, Duck Girl, the whole Duck World collective, Cowboy Dracula, Cal Kappa, No Kids Got Cats, and like so many more. There's a lot of really dope lo-fi content on Bandcamp that sounds nothing like what you're finding on YouTube and Spotify. So you're starting to see the revival of cassettes from those artists. I have O'Ricky cassettes. I have this dope O'Ricky and Impression cassette as well that looks like a cigarette packet. I don't condone smoking, but the packaging on this was insane. You have No Kids Got Cats, who's putting out a trilogy of stuff. You have a Cowboy Dracula. I'm putting out uniquely packaged items and things like this, and a monthly collectible for Patreon subscribers. So this is the future. This is how we preserve the culture and the art form, and we don't succumb to the oversaturation and the artificial intelligence that is infiltrating the music industry as a whole right now, not just the lo-fi and the beat culture. This is amongst the whole industry, but speaking specifically to lo-fi content and lo-fi culture, this is exactly how we preserve that, through the creation of physically tangible assets, like I said, through the consumption and intentional listening and creation, not just taking loops from Splice and copy and pasting them for the sole purpose of cracking these playlists so that we can get however many monthly listeners on Spotify, which may or may not come from bot farms depending on the playlist that you submit to and get accepted within. There's also the prospect of lo-fi radio. Shout out to Whitley360, who is running a really, really dope lo-fi radio show called Lunar Lounge, which is on CJTR, Access Now Radio. A lot of really, really dope artists that I know have been featured on it. And that's just one person doing something really cool for the culture. The possibilities are endless when it comes to this. It just depends on how creative we want to be and what we're going to do to preserve the culture. I've said it before, when I deleted Spotify off of my phone, I can hardly remember a handful of the songs that were on the playlist I was listening to. So if you're tired of your music being held hostage by Spotify and playlists and you're looking for meaningful content, the Crooked Verse is one of the places where we're preserving what's left. If you're ready to start digging, the links are below. Don't forget to like and subscribe either, please. I keep forgetting to say that, but yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.